My first year of painting, I made $30,000. It actually wasn't even a full year. It was like 9 months. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how I made that as only a part-time artist. Now, I'm not saying that like 30,000 is some life-changing amount of money. I was not mad at an extra 30 grand that a fun hobby that I was doing on the side was bringing in. There was 3 main ways that I was selling artwork, and that's what I want to share in this video. This whole thought for this video came up because I was doing some planning and some projections for what I would like to make over the next couple years through artwork alone, how I was going to achieve that and what I needed to do to kind of make that happen. And in doing that, I was looking at some historical figures from previous years where I was pushing it more and kind of starting to identify how I made money selling artwork. I thought a topic like this might be helpful for others, especially part-time artists, to hear, since I can give kind of a realistic point of view since I've never been a full-time artist. And so this first year that I'm referring to for me was good old 2020. Obviously, the world was upside down and we were dealing with something globally that was not good. I owned a business that was still somewhat operational, but every day I was kind of living in fear that I may lose it. And so it was not a very cozy time. I spent half my time trying to keep that from collapsing. But in any other remaining free time I had, since we were locked down, I pursued something that I had always thought about pursuing, and that was painting. I had done some sort of playful things kind of towards the end of 2019, but wasn't anything serious. But once things had officially shut down, I just decided to pour all of my free time and energy into the craft. And again, because I was worried about my business possibly failing and my only source of income disappearing outside of acting, but that's few and far between, and that was shut down also, I realized that my best shot at probably making some additional income at the time was through selling art. So the first way that I started making money through artwork was by selling my original paintings. Now, I had social media on my side because if you recall at the time, engagement on social media was at an all-time high because everybody was stuck at home in front of their phone. So as I was improving and painting day in and day out, people were starting to take notice. And as that was sort of building up, people started asking to buy my original artwork. Now, this is where I started to get strategic with this because I made sure that everything that I was doing would resonate really well with my audience. So I would always add some sort of pop culture related thing I knew would increase the chances of somebody wanting to buy it. So things like Jordans, things like In-N-Out Burger. It was just these things that I had found that had a soft spot with people and just, again, increased my chances of somebody wanting to buy it. Obviously, this is not how I do original artwork now. Now I just create things that I like, that's in my style or what have you. This was primarily being done out of fear and desperation, so I needed to make sure that I was going to paint some things that had a higher chance of actually selling. I wasn't doing really big originals at the time. Most things I would say were in the $300 to $700 range, but I ended up making $4,000 that year from original artwork. The second way that I was making money from artwork was through commissioned work. This was by far the best way. I actually made a video a while back about my strategy and how I was able to raise awareness to kind of get the ball rolling with the commissioned work. If you want to watch that, you can watch that right here. But the short version of this is that I knew I needed to raise awareness. And so what I started doing was giving paintings away completely for free. I think I gave out 4 or 5 at the time. I knew that in doing that, yes, I was doing the paintings for free, which wasn't the goal, but I knew that this was going to raise awareness because those people were going to post and share and talk about the painting. It was going to give me some legitimacy for a product that's, in demand. And that's a lot of how we work as humans. We want things, but we want them even more if we know that other people have them and they're in demand and stuff like that. So this works really well for me. Requests started coming in, slowly in the beginning here and there, and it increased month over month, pretty much the remainder of the year. I had a wait list that had built up that was multiple people deep. And sadly, in 2021, I shut off commissions entirely for good and had to let everybody know. And that's a whole, again, I'll explain that in another video. For anyone looking to become an artist or part-time or full-time or what have you, commissions a lot of the time I would imagine will end up being one of your larger sources of income year-round. I was getting requests to paint people's kids, their families, their cats, their dog, their cars. I was getting requests to do commissions of the originals that I had done. So kind of a spin-off of something I'd done in the past. I was just getting a lot of different commissions for just about everything. This was challenging for me because I said yes to everything, but I was painting things that I had literally never painted before. Ever. I'd never painted a dog when I painted a dog. I never painted a car before when I painted a car. And I'm taking money in exchange for saying, yeah, I can do that. Look, I got you. Don't worry about it. And in my head, it was like, oh shit, I've never painted that before. But again, I was living in fear and I really needed the money at the time. And I'm the type of person in general that I like the challenge, and I know I'll figure it out. I've proven that to myself enough in my life that I'll put myself in these challenging situations, but I always seem to figure it out. So there was a level of confidence there that I would do that. And these moments always bring me back to one of my favorite quotes by Richard Branson, which is, when somebody gives you an excellent opportunity, just say yes and figure out how later. And that was exactly my mentality throughout that entire year, pretty much. But it was honestly one of the best possible ways I could have quickly improved my skill set, because I was going to sleep watching painting videos and tutorials, and I was waking up watching painting videos and tutorials, and I was just living in my little art studio that I had built. That was all I was thinking about. That was all I was doing, and I was just practicing nonstop, so that each one I got to, it was less and less challenging, because I had already developed somewhat of an understanding of just how to paint in general. So each one got a little easier and a little bit easier. I mean, commissions are always high in demand. You know, paintings make excellent sentimental gifts, and so it's really cool because you get to be a part of creating that moment for them. So it was so much fun, and I'm so grateful for all of the commission work that I got to do during that year. So when I went back and tallied up how much I had made in commission paintings that year, I had made $19,000 doing commission work during that sort of 8-month period. Now, the third way that I was making money that year off of artwork was actually spawned by my realization that it was going to be hard to do from a time perspective, making money off of individual paintings. You know, once it's sold, that's gone. I can't make any more money off of it. Each painting can take days or weeks, and so your time is really tight, because maybe you can only do 2 commissions per month or something. So it can get kind of challenging, especially in the beginning, when it would literally take me a week or 2 to do 1 commission. You know, I can do it a lot faster now, but my time was starting to get really tight. So how could I make money off of something that I already sold? And the answer to that is selling fine art prints. Funny enough, this idea came to me because there was an early painting that I did that got a lot of attention, and it was a very basic one, but it was using some Jordans, and it just got a lot of attention. And I kept getting requests to buy prints of it. I didn't even really know how to make prints. I didn't know anything about it. I got enough requests for it, and I counted them, and I think I had like 21 requests for prints of this thing. The problem was I had already sold that original, so I couldn't get any really good photos of it anymore. I need a high quality image to turn it into a high quality print. So I thought, okay, that's fine. My next one that I do that gets a lot of attention, I'm gonna do a print run. So you have 2 different options. You can do a limited or an unlimited print. So if you do limited, as you can imagine, you only say, I'm gonna make 20 of these. And unlimited, you can just turn it on your website and people can just keep buying them. You kind of print as you go. So the benefit to doing a limited run is people now have something that's rare or a little exclusive, and so you can kind of charge a higher price point for that. So I decided to go that route. So I had this painting called California Love that had some in and out stuff in it, and it was kind of funny and people liked it. I knew it had enough requests for prints that I could probably confidently do a run and end up not having any sales or something. I did a limited run of only 20 prints. I priced them at $199, which was better because the original painting I think I had listed for $2,000 or $3,000 at the time. So, $200 for a high quality version of it. And I was right, because within 24 hours of listing it, they entirely sold out. I did 2 other print runs. One of this Queen's Gambit painting that I did that got a lot of attention, sold out of that one. And then one other in and out one that I did as well, which also sold out. Prints are a very convenient way to usually end up making more than you did on the original off of the prints, if done right. Something I probably could have started doing sooner. I did this kind of later in the year, it felt like. So it's a very good strategy. So the total that I ended up making from doing the print runs was $6,980. So if you add all of this up, we have 6,900 plus 4,000 plus 19,000, $29,980 is basically exactly what I had ended up making. It was a very turbulent year. There was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear in my life for business and for everybody's because of what we were going through at the time. But it spawned a passion of mine that I didn't really know I had, as well as a potential way to make income off of a passion, which listen, that's everybody's goal, right? It was very eye-opening. People talk about the arts. They make it seem like it's some dead end, like you can't really make money doing it. You absolutely can. And you absolutely can more now than ever because of social media, the power of social media and engagement and community, even part-time like this. And none of that really felt like work per se. So it was just really cool and eye-opening. Now, there are many, many other ways to make money from your artwork. Merchandising, sticker sales, teaching. There's a ton of ways to do it. These, I believe, for most people will probably end up being the most common, especially if you're doing traditional stuff like painting. But I've just always felt really grateful for the fact that I was able to teach myself this skill just from scratch, watching YouTube videos and just was able to turn that skill into something that could make me money. Again, you hate feeling that way about art, but that's the world we live in. If you can make money off of your art, creating or content or what have you, why the hell wouldn't you do that over something else you don't like? That just seemed like such a foreign concept to me. I didn't start painting till I was 30. It seemed like, how could I pick up this art form, this, at this point, a little later in life, find some success with it? But, if you treat it like you do anything and you plan things out accordingly and you have kind of a strategy, how can I paint things that will resonate with people? How can I paint things that will be in demand? You'll be really surprised with the result. I just wanted to share this with you. If any of you are in a similar place or maybe are thinking about pursuing something like this, whether part-time or full-time, I'd love to hear if any of you have had similar experience, how selling artwork and things works for you. I need to go finish that. I think I might be able to finish that by tomorrow. I've been working on it like sparingly. Anyway, and good night.